Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. We will be covering saving time in preparing lessons and what is new on TenMarks. If we want to go there, next slide. My name is Bethany Cheney, and I'm going to be your host and moderator today. I run marketing here at TenMarks. We have Dana Luther joining us. She is a former high school math teacher, and after leaving teaching, she went into building ed tech products and has been building ed tech products in math since then. What we're going to do is Dana will spend 10 minutes going through this topic on save time preparing lessons. At the end, we will do Q&A. So you will see on your GoToWebinar control panel a question section. Please feel free during the presentation to post your questions there, and I will be sure to ask Dana those at the end of the session. And now I'll turn it over to Dana.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. The first thing that I want to mention is that the majority of the time today is going to be talking about our TenMarks Math Teach product. And currently we have lessons available for every standard in first grade through 8th grade. And coming in a couple of months will be lessons for algebra. The other thing that I want to mention is that when you log into TenMarks, you'll always be presented with this interstitial or a chooser screen that will give you access to both products. So what we're going to be talking about today is if you log in, you want to go ahead and go into the Prepare and Deliver Lessons, which is going to be TenMarks Math Teach. We've created TenMarks Math Teach as a product that's specifically designed to save teachers time. And it really is a comprehensive resource that includes a series of standard-based lessons that teachers can easily access and use either with their entire class or in small group settings, as well as using it as a preparatory tool if you would like to. Our team of curriculum developers includes both former math teachers as well as coaches who have spent countless hours doing the research on these new Common Core standards so that you don't have to, and that you can come into TenMarks Math Teach and take a look at the lessons and easily and more quickly understand what you should be teaching and use this resource with your class as a teaching tool. The first thing that I want to talk about in TenMarks Math Teach is the standards tree. So for each of the standards that's covered in 1st through 8th grade, this one is recognized volume as additive, or 5MD 5C. You're going to see that there are learning objectives, the branches of the tree that are in the top. So in this case, for 5MD5C, we have these 6 learning objectives. And then we have the roots of the tree, which are the prerequisite standards that students are really going to need to know in order to be successful in this standard. And in this case, there are 5 of them. So our content team has gone through and figured out what are the most important skills, which we're calling learning objectives, that a student would need to know in order to be able to show proficiency on this standard. The next part of TenMarks Math Teach that I want to talk to is the Assess Readiness page. The Assess Readiness page provides a quick formative assessment for you to determine your class's readiness for the focus standard. So when I'm looking at this page, the questions on the left-hand side are going to relate directly to those prerequisite standards, or the roots of the tree that I showed you in the previous slide. And as a teacher, I'm sure that you've been in that situation where you got really excited about a lesson that you found, and you go in and you start teaching your students, and then within a few minutes you realize, okay, they're not really ready for this. And so the Assess Readiness is meant to give you the opportunity to use these questions to see if your students are able to answer them. Then you can jump right into a focus lesson. And if they aren't able to answer them, then you would want to use one of our warm-up lessons in order to create sort of a mini remedial situation for your students to ensure that later on they actually would be able to understand the standard, in this case, the 5MD5C. The next piece that is a really important planning tool that I think is helpful and can save you time is that we provide you with the student misconceptions. And on this page, 1, it's printable, and 2, it gives you an overview of the different ways that students might confuse what you're teaching in the focus lesson. So for example, on this first part, the misconception is that a student confuses a partial solution with a full solution and stops partway. So we see the student answer is provided here as well. We have the volume is equal to 12. So you as the teacher know, okay, this is something that I should be looking for as I'm teaching this lesson, and I can see that the students just multiplied 4 by 3 as one of the bases and forgot to multiply by the height. So you're going to be aware going into teaching that this is something that students may be doing. The meat of our TenMarks Math Teach product is the focus lesson piece. And the focus lessons for every standard, you're going to have anywhere from 5 to 10. And each of those focus lessons is going to cover one of the learning objectives that we saw on the standards tree. So in this case, we have our focus lesson number 3, which is also going to focus on mathematical practice standard 4, which is modeling with mathematics that you can see right here. And the real power of the focus lessons is that our content team, those hours that I talked about them doing research, is that they've created scaffolded questions that are going to go from a very basic understanding of the standard and the specific learning objective to a really deep understanding by the end of it. And as you go through the focus lesson, you can either choose to use the questions in the way that they're laid out for you, or you could print them out and you could talk through them in a different way. But the one thing to keep in mind that I'm showing you here is that the focus lessons line up with the animations, which is a very engaging and important part of the focus lessons. So as you go through them, even if you choose not to go through each question, you want to make sure that you are that you know what part of the animations are going to come up next so that you can speak to those pieces. The other element of TenMarks Math Teach that is helpful in saving you time is that we give you a differentiation section for each focus lesson. So right here I'm showing you the differentiation section for focus lesson 3 for this standard. We have both ideas for you for remediation as well as for challenge. And in this case, for students who, these students who, as soon as you start talking, they have it all together and they know exactly what the lesson is going to be about, you could provide them with this challenge question and ask them to do a math journal entry while the rest of your students are doing their individual work. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is how do you reinforce what you've taught using the focus lessons in TenMarks Math Teach with TenMarks Math. So even though the majority of this presentation has been around TenMarks Math Teach, I wanted to show you how easy it is to get to TenMarks Math and how you can create an assignment that's going to reinforce exactly what you've just taught. So from the curriculum page of TenMarks Math Teach, you can go to the drop-down and select TenMarks Math. And then you'll go to creating an assignment. And in this case, we are working on the standard 5MD 5C. So I'm going to search for that standard and find the question types and the questions that are directly related to what I've just taught so that I can reinforce for my students through an assignment in TenMarks Math exactly what it is that I want them to see and practice on individually. And I think that using both TenMarks Math Teach as well as TenMarks Math really creates this useful, comprehensive resource for you as the teacher to have, whether it be an out-of-the-box lesson or a creative way for you to be able to change and enhance the lessons that we've already provided to you. So that's it for our 10 minutes today, and I am going to go ahead and let Bethany take over the Q&A.
Thank you, Dana. And our first question that's come up is, do you have to subscribe to the premium membership in order to utilize the Math Teach lessons?
That's a great question. So we have both access for free as well as for premium. If you are a free user, you'll get access to 4 of these entire, lessons around the standards within each grade level, and you'll have access to 3 grade levels. So a total of 12 of these lessons for a free user. And as a premium user, you will have access to all of the standards in every grade level.
Sorry, I didn't hit unmute. Okay, as a free user, can we choose the grade level?
Yes, you have the ability to choose up to 3 grade levels. So we usually say in our training that you'd want to choose the grade level you're teaching and then 1 grade level below and 1 grade level above. So you get the breadth of standards that are available to you, both for remediation as well as challenge work with your students.
I'm a teacher with 10 plus years experience, and I was wondering how I might use this. I can see it being very useful for a new teacher, but are there suggestions around sort of more experienced teachers using it?
Absolutely. So we are encourage all teachers, no matter what their years of experience, to go in and really check out TenMarks Math because it's a great way to just get a refresher on what the standard is talking about and give some new ideas around how to teach the standard. And I think that the animations that I sort of showed in a slide by slide way are really cool and are quite difficult to come up with and to create individually. And so I think it's a really great resource for any teacher, no matter what your teaching level.
Okay, and I have another question here. Is I'm wondering how, and I think you kind of started to cover it at the end, but I used 10 marks homework assignments last year and wanted to know how, is there a way to sort of map between the two?
Sure. So the best way right now to do that would be to search for the topic that you taught using TenMarks Math Teach. We now have a new search functionality available on the grade assignment page within TenMarks Math. And so once you've taught a lesson, I would highly recommend going into TenMarks Math, searching for that topic and assigning it to your students because now you're getting both the teaching within TenMarks as well as the reinforcement within TenMarks.
Okay, and unless any other questions come up, those are the ones that have been posted so far. I will give this another minute. As you can see, if you have any questions, you can email us at support@tenmarks.com or reach out to us on Twitter or Facebook. We will be sending out a link to the recording from this webinar, along with an email that gives you the names of upcoming webinars this week and a full course called Getting Started 101, How to Integrate 10 Marks into Your Classroom. And that is really a how-to course. And there will be a link in the webinar email that we send, the follow-up email that we send out to you. And we encourage you to come either listen to other short webinars this week or attend the course, which is available on demand or recorded. Sorry, not on demand. It's available live or recorded. Thanks so much, and we look forward to having you join us later this week. Bye-bye.